I am with the iconic artist Romero Britto. As a Miami resident, you are everywhere. You are a symbol of our community. You've become a part of our fabric of Florida. It must mean so much to you to become this well-known artist that so many people have sought for their creations, to be a part of their celebrations, to hang in their homes as proud pieces of work. What does that accomplishment mean to you?
Oh my God. I mean, thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction. But listen, I wake up in the morning and I come to my studio, and I think people from the outside see more success than I see. I see more like what I do. You know what I mean? It's not like, yeah. But many times I stop, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I have a studio so beautiful like this. There's moments, some moments, but most of the time I'm not really like contemplating, no,
Contemplating. Yeah.
contemplating. Like uh, I'm
How,
like,
what an
I'm not
icon
like,
to become.
like lost in my on my head of whatever. I'm just like doing my work. But I have moments that I feel like, oh my God, I'm so blessed to wake up in the morning and have this beautiful bed that I slept, and I have this beautiful window and I see the ocean and everything. So I was like, wow, there's so many people who is not waking up the way I'm waking up. But but I'm being very grateful. So
Have the Romero doc out coming here in time for Art Basel, and it's just a beautiful picture of your life, who you are as a human being, not just as an artist. And it's also, though, an inspiration to young kids who are studying art or who maybe want to be artists. There's a beautiful look at the life of who you are outside of a painter. Was there parts of your life that you didn't want to show the camera or maybe were harder for you to explore?
hmm. Oh well, so many times.
I'm
Well,
sure. I'm sure. I mean,
s-
not many people know your human side to you. I mean, the humanities side to
yeah,
you, that you are
yeah.
one of nine children. There's so many things that people learn about you, about growing up in Brazil. You started nail polish, and here you are with unlimited paintbrushes in front of you.
Yeah.
There's so many aspects of your life that I think people are going to be so intrigued by.
Yeah.
And the journey it took for you to become this is what are some moments that you were excited for people to learn about the life you lived before becoming a famed
Well,
actor?
well, I had to say I was never, shy to share with people one to one, you know, things about my life, that how I grew up and everything. I was never felt like the embarrassment because sometimes people feel embarrassed to tell the story. And but one thing is like one a story at a time when you have a chance to speak to somebody in depth, about your journey. But the other one is when you put it all together and in a form of a documentary. So there was moments that was really difficult for me to talk about, or when I did few paintings inspired, with the, kind of going back to, in moments in my life, the producers had asked me to create those paintings. So it's kind of a difficult thing because, you know, yeah, I don't forget about my past, but at the same time, I'm not like thinking about all the time. So I'm thinking like I'm trying to be at the moment, and many times think about the future, but not like get stuck in my past. But even though it's there, but one thing is about like as I say, like you like working on a documentary with producers that is bringing up all that. It's almost making a therapy kind of it. You know what I mean? So
You
it
have,
was a very like I cried many times. So
I'm
it was,
sure.
yes, I was about to cry as I was listening to your beautiful comments, about my art and everything. So it was very nice. Thank you.
There's such a positivity to the work that you produce. Why is that such an important aspect of your art?
Well, I think the positivity and the hope, that I put in my work and the love and all this stuff is everything that I wanted to have in my life as well. So I'm really, I mean, of course, I'm aware about so many dark stuff out there in the world, so many things that happen, unfortunately. And we are so advanced, but sometimes, we see things that is so behind, in terms of violence and disrespect to other people's right and to be free or to live a life, you know, that they deserve or something like that. But and I think that's the search for myself, like of a place that I, probably like at least if you grew up with all the love, you're not gonna be looking for more love because love is gonna always you feel that love is always coming to you. You know what I mean? But once you don't have, it's like almost you have to learn how to bring that to you in a time that you did not have it and you just didn't know how important it was, to have love and, caring and all that. But I know that my mother loved all of us, but she did not have the time to be telling me like, I love you, you, you're safe and everything. And a lot of people out there are growing up without having somebody saying that. I mean, I'm not the only one. There's lots of people out there. And that's why there's a lot of violence, and there's going to continues being a lot of violence and misunderstanding, you know, because of that. Because families are made up without thoughts and I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but like people are coming to this world without not that everything has to be planned out. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of children and people being born without having the right parenting or family or like structure, and it just like happen, and then they just there you go, and then you have.
Well, so many famous people came together to comment on the beautiful artwork you create. What did that mean to you, and were you surprised
Oh,
that
it
someone
means the world
to get
because
involved with this documentary to say your praises?
yeah, I mean, it means the world to me because, I have a huge admiration to each one of those people, those friends that came and joined to tell, how they feel about my art and a little bit of my story. And no, definitely, I mean, it's a huge privilege to have them in the documentary. Yes.
My favorite part of the documentary, outside of learning about who you were before you became this larger than life artist, was you visiting this art class. There's so many little hands so excited to see you, to have learned about the art you make, and to make art similar to you. Why was that so important for you to visit this class? And what did you hope that they learn from the art that you make?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's so amazing. I would never imagine my entire life that my art would inspire anybody, basically. I never thought that. And then little by little, I mean, as I go around the world showing my work in countries and galleries and whatever, and then comes teachers, and say, "Oh, I teach your art from my students and this and that," and so it's really incredible. I never thought that. I like the state of Florida. There was a time that they had in the curriculum, so for my art to be taught in school, so it's again, I'm honored, and I never dream about that this something like this would happen. And those little pure hearts, love my art. It was amazing. And so yeah, the producers, when they heard the story, and they, that schools, use my art to be taught to kids, they got interested and they did a search around the country, and they found this teacher that they thought would work really well, and they find in a city that I love too, beside of Miami, New York. And I was in London, and then they coordinated for me to be in a Zoom call. But then I guess they last minute they thought, why don't we surprise the teacher? And Romero, you fly from London to New York, and we're gonna knock the door of the school when they were about to be in a Zoom call with me. And I was outside the door. And I was like, she was in tears. I was in tears. It was amazing. It was, and the kids were screaming loud. It was unbelievable. It was funny.
So many lives with the art that you make. It must mean so much to you that your dream, your mission, what you were meant to do in life has reached so many hearts, so many minds, so much talent in the world.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, some time ago, I was driving and I was thinking, if I die today, I changed my life. I did change my life from when I was a kid in Brazil. Yes. Now, of course, I could be already a grandfather, a young grandfather. Yeah.
Yes.